What is up, our beautiful people? You are listening to Ambition on Fleek. I'm your co-host, Janay Honest.
And I'm your other co-host, Peng Peng Lee.
And we are here to inspire and motivate you through our unique stories from our gymnastics experiences.
And will I tell you, we are going to talk a lot about gymnastics today. Through the sport of gymnastics, we have learned the importance of balance when it comes to addressing the physical, mental, and emotional sides of life. Janay and I are both NCAA national champions, and we think we know what it takes to be successful athletes, so we want to share our knowledge with you.
And we're learning along the way.
Yeah, that's true. That's the most important thing, is that we're taking everything we're telling you and applying it to our everyday lives because we're both retired athletes now.
Happily retired.
Happily retired.
Can't emphasize that enough.
Yeah. So before we get started, we always start off with a Perfect 10 segment. And the Perfect 10 segment is basically something you're really proud of during the week or during the day. Janay, what were you proud of this week or today?
So, I have been working really hard with my broadcasting resume. I actually had my mentor send it out to me, and I've just been adding it to my LinkedIn and really looking for more weekend gigs and just kind of continually doing that. And I'm just more proud of myself that I've been consistent with it rather than just, just put it out there and see what happens and just kind of consistently doing it. So it's like looking for another job. I feel like I'm job searching again, but I already have one. So it's nice to kind of be in that stage again. Yeah, so that's what I'm pretty proud of right now.
Oh, I'm proud of you for getting out there. No, because I know you want to do broadcasting, so it's something really important that I think it's good to put yourself out there. Even though if you don't know what's going to happen, it's just, that's the first step.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of getting out there, my Perfect 10 moment was I actually was an interviewer at a UFC event called Submission Underground 8, and it was streamed live on UFC Fight Pass. Really, really random, but I definitely put myself out there. I got this gig through another YouTuber, so he really liked the way I did things, and he invited me to be an interviewer at this UFC event that he produced. And it was crazy because I felt like I put myself out there since I don't know anything about UFC. So it was very interesting. I'm very proud of myself for just going with the flow and generally coming up with questions that people could ask across all sports, because they did give me questions to ask the players, but I really had to improvise, and I felt like I was using my acting skills here, like improving, because I didn't understand what their answer was.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of nice, too, when you're being an interviewer, because you can, as they're answering, you really can think of that time to think of what your next question. You can formulate your question while they're answering, because really they're telling the audience and you're just asking the question. So that's something I learned too. But no, she just posted this picture today, and I was just scrolling through these photos, and I'm like, this is so cool, Peng. Like,
we get so proud of each other.
No, it's amazing. Like, she's really doing it. Like, that's exactly what she did is exactly what I want to do. And it's just super cool that you went into a sport that you don't really watch fighting, do you?
No. Well, I mean, I watch it every once in a while, but this was...
I watched Pac-Man and Mayweather. Those are the main two.
But they were saying words like grappling, submission, I don't know. And then I didn't know there was a difference, because I asked the question, is it different fighting in a cage or a mat or something like that? I just didn't understand, but I asked it with confidence, and I was proud of myself.
Hey, it's great. And it's funny, too, because you learn that, or at least when I was working with other play-by-play people or just anybody, like, you really don't have to know much about the sport unless you're an analyst.
But if you know more about the sport, it gives you a lot more confidence. That's the only difference. My heart was racing so hard.
But I bet you sounded so confident.
Thanks. I got a lot of compliments. I was really happy about that, and they were just saying, we'll let you know when something else comes up. So I was really proud of myself for diving into something I just didn't know.
Yeah, and it also kind of helps too, or at least the people that brought you onto the gate, like, oh, she did her homework. Now she's really answering these questions well.
No, they gave me the questions because they knew I was new.
That's actually really cool that they gave you the questions.
They were very nice to me because they knew I didn't know anything. They just liked my personality. So they just knew I was going to bring out my personality in these questions, and I did.
Man, I want my gigs to be like that, where they just provide you questions. questions. Just read this.
Just read. That's
And
how
then
I felt.
and then if you
less
like are
nervous.
interested more, then ask questions that come to your mind.
Right.
That's super cool.
Thank you. I was also nervous because it was a live event.
Did you? Yeah, that's also something. And you have to always keep that in mind too. Like podcasts, some stuff's going to be edited. So,
We can
I
always
don't
say,
even-
hey, Jerry.
like, I don't even stress when I stumble over my words because, like, they got me. Because
They have our
sometimes
backs.
I cannot speak. But, no, that's super cool. Did you get to watch it at all?
I did get to watch it. It was very interesting, very different than gymnastics. They're a lot more intense.
I feel that the environment would be super electric. Like it is in the movies.
It's way different than gymnastics, and it was cool to see how they prepped. They're still warming up like us. They kind of go into their zone, but I feel like fighters go more into their zone because it's life or death for them, really.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So,
Whew. I don't know if I could date a fighter, to be honest. I would be terrified.
the ears. It's just very different. Very different. Maybe it's just
Well, I
not
guess
for
it's
me.
like anything. If you're like football, any like really high impact
That's true.
sport,
I
you're
would
just
just-
kind of fearing for their life always.
I'd be scared.
So,
Yeah.
not saying that I'm not open to it. It would just be it would just be different for me because you're watching them and they're
Let me know how it goes, Jay.
hey, you're supposed to be helping me out. So let me know how the search is going, Faye.
Okay, I will. All right, let's get into our topic for today. Our topic today is, I think it's really important, this topic.
Treat yourself. That's that's how I like to say it. But
Yeah, I like it. Okay, I like the way you say it. You describe it.
So basically we I guess Miss Val always said this when we were on the team, and she would call them Sabbath rest days.
Okay, interestingly, I'm going to cut you off there really quickly.
No, yeah, I cut you off all the time, so it's cool.
I looked up Sabbath rest because I was curious what the definition was.
Yeah.
This is I didn't know this. The seventh day of the week observed from Friday evening to Saturday evening as a day of rest and worship by Jews and some Christians.
Mhm.
I didn't know that because I'm not religious.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that. And I feel like for our non-religious people, I do like the term Sabbath rest, but I feel like instead of worship by Jews and some Christians, I feel like you're worshiping yourself.
Yeah. It's
I'm just twisting it.
No, yeah, exactly. And I think to bounce off of what you just said, I think it's important to kind of, I won't say be selfish, but sometimes you have to say no to some things to like say yes to yourself. And I remember I said that in one of the other episodes, but I feel that when you're always going and you're working and you're literally nonstop for so many days, and if you don't take time to yourself, whether if it's a full day or half a day or even a nap, honestly, you're going to feel it mentally and physically in your body. And that's why I think resting is so important, and you need to at least budget time out for that, because trust me, I just think it's a lifesaver. I need some resting always. I love naps.
Yeah, I know you love naps. Well, I think so. I just want to go into it really in depth because we did talk about the say no to things and it means say yes to yourself in the time management podcast in that episode. But I do want to reiterate that it is important to rest your mind and sometimes to just take days for yourself. And I know we stress this a lot of saying it is okay to have rest days, but I think sometimes you have to schedule rest days in too.
And I think it's accepting that you need a rest day, because I feel that, because I think there was a video, I sometimes watch the whole show, but Steve Harvey has a show and he talks about how, I'm sorry, let me just, my allergies, guys, are just really flared up right now, and that's why I'm sniffing like every 30 seconds. So if I do sound congested, that is why I actually did not take my decongestant, my second dose. So if I sound a little more stuffy, this is why. But Steve Harvey mentioned, or there was just this video that was circulating around social media, and he was saying how really successful people, rich people, they don't sleep 8 hours a day. They sleep less because, they are always up and working and grinding. He talked about the stock market, and that's on the New York side. And, so it opens, at 9 a.m. and that means it's 6 a.m. We're here. And I remember Chrissy Teigen replied and said, "Oh, yeah, you're right. I sleep 12 hours. And someone's like, "Well, who says you're rich?" And she said, "Forbes." But anyway, his point was...
She really
Chrissy
came out there.
Teigen is just, she's
I like
always
her.
with the comebacks. But his point is that you always have to, basically he's just saying you need to, work hard every day and, take advantage of every moment. And the people that are successful, they do that. They, sometimes they don't sleep. Like The Rock, the actor, not an actual rock. We had this conversation before too. Dwayne Johnson, he talks about how he sleeps sometimes 3 hours in a day. Like, it's crazy. And he's working nonstop. Even on his birthday, he just talks about how, 3 candles on my birthday cake that my daughters made me because that's how much sleep I'm going to get in the year. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. So
that's crazy. I think it's okay. I think those people, it's great that they're working so hard.
Yeah,
I think there's a certain personality and type to work that hard.
I am not that personality type.
I think we're talking about when we say treat yourself. It's more on the terms if you're really stressed or if you're grinding really hard and all of a sudden your body starts to break down.
Yeah.
I think that's what we mean by Sabbath rest days. And when you feel guilty of taking those rest days, we're trying to help you learn that it's okay to take those rest days and to not feel guilty, because when you don't take rest days, when you're resting and relaxing your brain, relaxing your muscles, you're actually allowing your muscles, nerves, bones, and all your connective tissues in your body to rebuild.
Yeah, because when you sleep, that's when your whole body like reboots and everything. So if you don't get sleep, me personally, that's why I just feel dramatically different when I get a full 8 hours versus when I don't get any sleep at all.
Right.
And if you do that consistently, just imagine how you're going to feel after a week when you haven't been getting any sleep. Granted, like you said, it probably is a personality thing, but I have been guilty of feeling guilty about taking Sabbath rest days. I think
I have too.
Yeah. Because you're thinking, no, because I'm always thinking I always have to be doing something. Like I mentioned with my Perfect 10 moment, I already have a job, I've gotten a few gigs here and there, but I feel that I need to be doing more. And when I'm not doing something, when I'm chilling out, like on a Saturday and I'm just chilling on my bed, I slept in, and sometimes I feel guilty and I feel that, I should have gotten up early, like I have some stuff to do, but why did I sleep in? Because I need to, because I was tired this week, you know what I mean?
Sabbath rest doesn't always mean sleeping too. I always took my Sabbath rest times. I think Sabbath rest is just something that gets your soul kind of mended again, just gets you really back into your happy mood and gets you back up on your feet kind of thing. So my Sabbath rest moments, sometimes it would be an hour. It really depends on the amount of time. And I think it's important to take those times to just replenish yourself. But music really fueled my soul and healed my soul. So I used to have jam sessions. And with my guitar, I used to just play my guitar. And I think live music really rested my soul. And so I felt like that helped me on my Sabbath rest days. And so even when I was training and going through school, when I was really stressed, I would try and plan these jam sessions with my friends so that I was able to kind of reboot. I think it's more of a rebooting thing.
Yeah, for me, it could look like dancing, going to a dance class, anything that's a hobby of yours that has nothing related to do with work. Journaling is something I do. I think journaling is really important, or meditating. I've really gotten into meditating lately, and that's just something that could take 5 minutes out of your day, and it's just deep breaths and,
Do you use an app to meditate?
No.
Do you just meditate on your own? It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I've downloaded some apps before. Back in like high school, that plays the music and just really gets you in the mood or out of the mood.
I need to meditate more.
But I found that it makes a huge difference because it kind of gets you to regroup when I do feel really stressed in the moment, and that's when I know. And I think that's kind of when your body tells you, when you feel it in your body and you feel stress, that's when you know you need to take a Sabbath moment or just a rest moment. So I think that's when I do meditate, which I do daily, but especially when I feel really high intensity stress, then.
I think that's the thing too. How do you know when to take these Sabbath rest days? Because I feel like someone like The Rock or just someone who
know what they are.
Just someone who is grinding really hard, you're in the zone.
Yeah.
And so, but what happens when you can feel yourself getting sick, and those moments where your body's just breaking down on you, and you're actually not healing, or you're getting more sore after practice. It's interesting because when you're in the zone and you have such a goal that you're looking forward to, you've been working so hard, you almost don't want to take a Sabbath rest day. So
and that's how I felt, definitely, yeah.
That's how you felt? I think it's hard to realize that even 5 minutes out of your day to just unwind before bed will really help reset your brain. And that could be getting off your phone, playing music, listening to music. Maybe it is being on your phone, but just that 5 minutes to yourself of quiet time.
I love quiet time. Oh, my goodness.
Time?
I do. I know you don't, right?
Right. So I really had to learn that quiet time really helped me reset myself. I've gotten a lot of quiet time now because I do work alone by myself at home.
Wow.
I know. It's really lonely. But I've learned a lot about quiet time, and it actually resets my brain. And it's interesting because I'm so much more zen until I see people.
Until I see people, and I'm like, no, Zen, let's go.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I do feel more zen, and I feel like I've paid attention more to my stress because I think I'm okay with taking this Sabbath rest. And I'm just feeling myself. Sometimes I'll just sing for 10 minutes and then I'll go back to work.
Yeah. I think also when I take a moment to meditate or, whatever I choose to do is it helps with my confidence too. Because when I do get stressed, that's when I don't trust myself or I'm not confident in myself to do that job or whatever I'm doing well. So you could either come up with a mantra. I came up with a mantra or whatever, and just something that you say to yourself every morning. I have different things written on my mirror that I literally look at every day because, I go into the bathroom every day to brush my teeth, wash my face, and all that stuff. So kind of anything of those daily reminders or writing them down just so you know, okay, I need to take this 5 minutes out of the day just to kind of get into that habit has been really helpful for me too.
What?
I had something else to say, but it left me. I need to meditate right now.
We're Sabbath resting. We'll see you back in a short little bit. No, I it's interesting. So our coach, Miss Val, every single time we have this in every single meeting, she always tells us to have those Sabbath rest days. So even when you're competing, when you're practicing, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Those Sabbath rest days are there for you to decide. It's not like someone's telling you to take a day off. Yeah. It's more, how would you know to take, sorry, I think I asked this question, but on a more personal level, like say if you're a little kid, right? You go into the gym's really stressful and you don't really know what Sabbath rest is. So I'm trying to think an example of what it would look like on a stressful day. For a little kid. And I'm saying on a stressful day if you don't even know what
you need.
Yeah.
Because you're not really, because I didn't really think about that. I'm trying to think of when I would just cry. 7-year-old Nene. I think my parents would be really good at detecting when I was getting stressed. And so they would either not have me go to practice that day and just give me a day off because they were the ones that were driving me to gym anyway. Because I never fell out of the love for the sport. Oh my goodness. I never fell out of love for the sport of gymnastics, but every day isn't going to be perfect. So, but when you're younger, you kind of just think, oh, this is a really hard day and I'm really emotional.
That's
and
true.
My coach yelled at me because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And your parents can see that whether if it's during practice, like my dad would watch me during practice, or after, and you feel down, and how'd practice go? Or they can kind of tell. So I think my parents would do that for me, but for yourself, I think.
I think it's interesting that you brought up the parents, though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you're in that situation, sometimes it does take someone else to tell you, hey, you need a break.
Yeah.
But I think this is the other thing. This just made me think of when I was younger. Sometimes the coaches didn't allow us to have vacation during summer. So, right. But I feel like, because I remember talking to you and you said we always took a vacation after summer. And we would get 2 weeks off. But as I got older and started competing a lot more, those vacations became a lot shorter. And I almost started feeling guilty for missing practice.
Yeah.
But I should have not felt guilty because that was my time to rejuvenate.
Yeah, and I feel that that's maybe a tactic that some coaches use, because I feel that that's always, you know what I mean? Oh, you're going on vacation for how long? You know what I mean? And it's summer. And I feel that, doing something 24/7, you're going to need a break. So
Janay's just staring in confusion.
you're gonna need a little break. But yeah, I think, but for yourself, and if, because I definitely know and I think how I knew if I needed a break is because my parents would say, hey, I see you getting burned out. Do you still want to do the sport?
Right.
And I'll be like, heck yeah, I still want to do the sport. I don't even know why you're asking me. But, for yourself, if you feel, because you're going to feel it in your mind and in your body, and you're going to have some indicator.
I think one of those indicators is just being overly tired.
Yeah.
That's a big indicator.
I think it's important to vocalize it to yourself and to someone, so they know what's going on, so you don't let it go unnoticed for too long, because then I feel that not taking these rest days could lead to burning out. And we talked about burning out, but this would help prevent burnouts, right?
Actually, no, I like the thing that you brought up about, I can't speak either.
Hey, it's fine. We're human.
I like when you brought up burning out, because this is when we talk about your body needs time to regenerate. Mm-hmm. And your body also needs time for, say if you had a really hard workout, your muscles need to heal. Mm-hmm. And you
need the protein.
It's a whole circle of life. I guess we've talked about the circle of life for many episodes, but it always comes up in the end. But burning out is, a lot of people when I was younger, I think I burnt out. I definitely burnt out. Because I was training so hard, I didn't really get much vacation. Oh. And so it was almost necessary that I did get injured, and it was a blessing in disguise so that I could take that time off to really have a calm mind and a calm mindset. Because I think that's the thing, when you don't appreciate the Sabbath rest days, it's your time to really remove yourself from all the work you've been doing. Yeah. It's when you're thinking about the sport still, or when you're thinking about the work you need to do, that's not truly being in Sabbath rest.
Right. Because I kind of think about that as when you're laying in bed before you're sleeping and you're thinking about all the things that you haven't done, or all the things that need to get done tomorrow. And it's already been an hour and you haven't gone to sleep because you're
just thinking about everything.
You're not even counting sheep to go to sleep. You're just thinking about all the things you need to get done, and you're stressing yourself out. So it's kind of like what you said, taking that 5 minutes to unwind besides winding yourself up before you sleep. Because I've definitely been doing that. When you get into drama, and that is...
What kind of drama, Janay?
Oh my gosh, girl drama, boy drama, any type of drama that just keeps you up for no reason because you're stressed and annoyed that it's even happening to you, or you're caught up in the middle of it. But, and then you're up composing this long text because you feel the need to send it. And it's at 11:30 at night. I got practice at 6, or not practice at 6:30, but not rehab either. What did we call that? Treatment.
I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, you did have practice and you did have...
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking I had treatment at 6:30 and then, practice in the morning. You got practice in the morning. You kind of got to go to bed. So who has time to be sitting there thinking that's just what I've been guilty of. And I think people have been through that too.
Right.
But that's just an example of what can keep you up. And that for sure has kept me up, is drama. And you're trying to deal with it before you go to sleep.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think the best time to have Sabbath rest, if you just want to have a bit of Sabbath rest for 5 minutes, is before bed. I say that because it's going to relax your muscles. It's going to calm your mind down.
It's the last thing on your mind, too.
You have to train to do it.
That's why I said consistency is important, to kind of make a note, write it down, set a reminder, because if you are going through your daily life, you're going to forget. I forget all the time. If I don't write it down, I was supposed to do that today and yesterday and the day before, and it's already Wednesday. Oops. So
I think it's hard to clear your mind, because I have a hard time clearing my mind, especially any time of the day.
Daily.
It's really daily. I have a really hard time just clearing my mind. But something you can practice, which the golfers used to do, actually. But this was to get in their zone, but I think you can do this with Sabbath rest too. Mm-hmm. It's just think about one thing. So they always had a golf ball in front of them, and they had to stare at this golf ball, and if they thought about anything else, they had to say this one word. That's kind of like meditating, right? Yeah. Because in meditation, you say one word and you kind of think about that one word over and over again. So that's something you can do before bed if you want to try it. Not to think about it, I want to try it, because I don't know if I've actually done the one word thing.
Yeah, definitely not in the context of winding down before bed. I think I use that in the gym to just simplify my mind in competition or in practice, but not. Yeah, because when I meditate, I kind of say I do my mantra rather than. That's interesting. I like that. I want to try that too. And I've always wondered what golfers think, and just because
it's a very intrigue me. Sport. It's a very mind sport.
Yeah,
and they do a lot of mental training.
I can imagine.
But I was just saying it's interesting because on these rest days, you do have to train to be okay with having those rest days because it's training your brain to not think about everything you have to do and just focus on yourself, which sounds very cliche.
How so?
What do you mean, how so? It's hard to get into the zone of meditation. I think Sabbath rest is almost like meditation, but I also think there's sometimes hobbies that can get you into that meditation mindset. Okay, Jay, I think we need to take a short break. We're going to take some Sabbath rest to replenish our minds before we come back after the break. Welcome back, everybody. I'm your co-host, Peng Peng Lee.
And I'm Janay Honest, and we're back from taking kind of a Sabbath rest. I don't know what that was.
Well, we're talking about hobbies because I think hobbies are really important for Sabbath rest because it is taking time for yourself.
And things that you enjoy doing. So I was going to say...
read a book.
Yeah.
The boring stuff.
No. Before we went to our break, because I almost forgot to say, because I just said anything that you enjoy doing. So mine would be dance, but I also love hot yoga too. And that's just perfect because yoga is literally doing what we have just been saying. Just clearing your mind, focusing on one thing, focusing on your breath, and slowing your heart rate, even though the poses be super hard. But I mean, it's good practice too. And if, let's say, you do that weekly, you're getting in that routine.
Right. Well, I know some friends at UCLA, they would do a lot of rec sports, and it was kind of their way of just getting everything out during the day. They could just enjoy a friendly competition or just enjoy the company of people.
Or intense competition of one-on-one.
But they really enjoyed it, and it was kind of their weekly refresher of just resetting to get their mind off school, their mind off work. I brought and suggested that Game of Thrones was my Sabbath rest because, before you say anything, because Janay was not happy with my hobby.
I didn't say not happy, but continue.
Okay, so the reason why I said Game of Thrones is because I'm really into it. I love getting together with friends to watch it, and it's kind of like my way of replenishing myself with seeing everybody, and we can discuss it for a long time. And it's just my way of almost resetting myself to get me into that happy mindset again. And it's just so, I always look forward to Sunday night, even though it's over.
Not yet. We got one more episode.
Well, when this comes out, it's over.
True. Not that I was disagreeing with you. I was just kind of being funny because she said Game of Thrones, and I was like, Peng, Game of Thrones stresses me out. So that is not a good, a Sabbath thing to do. But no, I totally get what you mean because I always look forward to Sundays, or I always look forward to $5 movie Tuesdays, guys, AMC. If you have a membership card, which is more like a rewards card, you get to watch a movie for $5. So me and my roommate and whoever wants to come, Peng can never come because she's always busy.
I can come this week.
Okay, cool. Tomorrow we're going.
Okay.
But this is another thing too, just something I look forward to weekly, and we'll go pick a movie and see it every Tuesday for $5 because y'all, I refuse to pay full price anymore because who has time to pay $25 for one ticket? And that's not even including food. So
you know what's interesting?
Now that's a full on date. Like if someone took me out for a movie, I would accept that. I really would.
You know what's interesting, Janay?
What's interesting, Peng?
I feel like after we've graduated school, we've gotten into a lot more activities.
No, because we
see each other every single day at practice, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of needed, honestly, Sabbath rest could be a break between people too.
I definitely need my break from people. I can't. Whew.
So I guess Janay and I just want to suggest and invite you to think about hobbies that really resonate with you, but also hobbies that get your mind off things. So The rec activities are really great. If you have a school that does afternoon rec activities, or even just getting together with a group of friends to kind of get your mind off it. I know when I was younger in high school, it was really hard to get together with my friends because you're going from gym to homework to then sleeping, gym, homework, sleeping, gym. It's a whole cycle.
Yeah.
But I remember having those off days of Saturday, just taking that time to sleep in for myself and then hitting up a couple friends to just hang out so I can get my mind and rest my body. And I think a lot of the times there are some gymnasts who feel like if they do things on Saturday or if they do things on those rest days, it's not resting their body. But I disagree with them. You know what I mean? Like if your friend group wanted to go, say, walk around at a theme park and you're saying, no, I'm sore, I can't.
Oh, yeah, it kind of just depends on what kind of rest you feel that you need.
True.
Because I do get some people. I think it's different. It's kind of like before you compete, I would suggest not going to the beach and spending outside in the sun all day because it'll drain you.
That's true.
But if you just need a rest day and you feel a beach day is what you need, and you won't get drained, or you'll do everything in your power not to get drained, then why not?
Mm-hmm. I think also deep down on a personal level with people, I think they have a gut feeling of what they need. And I think you should be okay with listening to your gut.
And vocalizing it.
Because I think it is a scary place to admit that maybe this is what I need, or if you're following suit with other people, or if people are inviting you. And it's hard to recognize, I think, at first what actually helps you replenish, but it could change daily. And I also think that with your gut feeling of something that is just going to shut everyone out and shut everything out, that's what you should go off of.
Yeah, I like to call myself a recovering people pleaser because my dad would always tell me, do what you want and what you need and don't be a follower. And if, your friends want to go out and you really don't want to, but you're like, oh, but I already said yes. And
Janay is the queen of this. I know what you're getting at right now.
Yeah, so just kind of like Peng said, you know what you need and you do know in your gut. So kind of just accepting it and following through is the key.
Yeah, and if you haven't tried it before and you haven't really gone off your instinct, try it once and see what happens and see if you do feel a lot better or do feel replenished.
Mm-hmm. And then try it twice.
And then
try
a third time. And see if it helps.
Repeat.
And repeat. Rinse and repeat. Well, I hope that helped you guys to have those Sabbath rest days and to really own those rest days, because it definitely will help you. It'll help your mindset. It'll help your body, make you less stressed in a way. And so I think it's very important for you to try it out.
Thanks, Peng. Way to just sum it up for me right there.
You're welcome.
We'll definitely make sure to like, share, subscribe, rate on wherever you listen to these podcasts. And if listening to this podcast is a Sabbath rest for you, then
we've done our job.
Then so be it.
So be it. We hope you guys enjoy this episode of Ambition on Fleek. Make sure to check out the other episodes because we do talk a lot about the circle of life and things we had mentioned in this podcast.
Everything just circles back to everything.
True.
Did that even make sense?
It did.
Oh my goodness. All right, y'all. Peace.
Bye-bye.